and the courts awarded him $4 million for damages. But because of some state laws, it got cut down to $500,000. We got 2 videos to look at, so let's get over into it and see if we can find out what's happening with this situation. Boy, I'll be pissed, boy. Let's get into it, though. Let's get into it.
A Hennepin County jury just issued a multi-million-dollar verdict in favor of a man who was run over by a Metro Transit bus and suffered life-changing injuries. But the total that he was awarded is deceiving. Kent explains what happened in this case and why the victim is just going to get a fraction of what the jury said he actually deserves.
Catching a bus in the Twin Cities comes with a basic set of expectations.
The Metro Transit rules require bus drivers to accommodate all potential customers. If you're at the bus stop, they got to let you on.
Attorneys Cole Dixon and Aaron Aiken say that failed to happen at an eastbound stop at Lake Street and 3rd Avenue South in Minneapolis back in February of 2023. Bus cameras show that as one man boarded the bus, their client, Chris Swickard, entered the picture and approached the bus.
He was maybe 5 feet from the door, and the bus driver admittedly saw him, shut the door, and then sped off right away.
A split second later, Swickard's life changed forever.
My client attempted to get the bus driver to stop. He never stopped, and then the motion of the bus knocked him to the ground, and it ran over his leg.
Did the bus driver give any reason for not waiting?
He claims that he did not know my guy wanted to get on the bus. That was the whole thing. He didn't know, even though he was from me to you away when the door was completely wide open.
Even after running over his leg, the driver continued on, leaving Swickard laying along Lake Street in the middle of winter.
He had fractured ribs, a fractured clavicle, but his left leg was the main injury. He had a fractured femur that required a rod placement from basically his hip down to his knee. And then from the knee down, he had what they called a mangled left limb.
Despite Swickard's lower leg requiring amputation, Dixon says Metro Transit repeatedly denied any liability, so they sued. And on Thursday, a jury awarded $5.3 million in damages, finding that the driver was 80% at fault.
So in this case, the damage award was reduced by 20% because they said he was 20% at fault for the accident.
That should have left Swickard with $4.2 million. But in reality, he'll recover much less because Metro Transit is one of several public entities protected by a tort cap.
So they have a $500,000 cap, and that information's not available to the jury. They don't know that. His medical bills alone were almost $500,000. It's a very small recovery for him at the end of the day, despite being...
That's like a cheat code. They said that. So they got a cap. If they get sued, no matter how much they were at fault, at least that's what I'm understanding, it caps at $500,000. That's like a cheat code for a business. Wow. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let's back it up a tad bit.
Much less, because Metro Transit is one of several public entities protected by a tort cap.
So they have a $500,000 cap, and that information's not available to the jury. They don't know that. His medical bills alone were almost $500,000. It's a very small recovery for him at the end of the day, despite being awarded over $4 million.
And because tort caps are set by state statute, they say there's nothing more they can do, at least for now.
Doesn't matter if it's a death case or a horrific injury case like this, the amount that the injured person, the victim, actually gets always going to be limited because of the laws in our state.
The hope would be that that will change at some point, or maybe be increased to a dollar amount that is more realistic in 2025, but that's something that's going to have to require some legislative changes.
In the meantime, they say Swickard is simply glad he's no longer being ignored.
I think we can all agree that justice was delivered on this case. He's been told for 2.5 years that it was all his fault that this accident happened. So I think, if anything, he feels the truth came out.
The driver of that bus, he was new on the job, and he actually stopped working for Metro Transit after this incident. He's not responsible personally for paying the damages. So we reached out to Metro Transit for a response. Their communications manager sent a short statement to us that said, "We continue to review the findings. We generally do not provide public comment on ongoing legal proceedings." We'll be right back.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, y'all. So no matter the damages, they're capped at $500K. Still a lot of money, but They said his medical bills alone already went up to that. Wow. Absolutely crazy. Let me know your thoughts on that. But let's get over into this next video and see if they tell us any more details about it.
Top story this half hour is capping civil damages. Now, juries can award millions of dollars for pain and suffering, but in Minnesota, statutes limit the payout by public institutions.
I got hit by a bus, and I'm still going through this, and I never wanted to go through it at all. I wanted this to be over, but to claim that there's no fault is something beyond me, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, video here as a man is struck by a bus in a Minneapolis crosswalk and then dragged underneath.
So this is the same kind of situation, y'all. Same kind of situation. Absolutely.
Somehow, he survived and is now suing Metro Transit because of his injuries. Now, another victim recently won a $4 million verdict after he was run over by a bus.
But Fox 9 investigator Paul Bloom tells us Metro Transit will only have to pay a fraction of that amount.
On a motorized skateboard in the crosswalk, Bradley LeGrid is certain he had the walk signal when he tried crossing Lake Street here at Hennepin Avenue in February 2024.
I remember feeling something, and then I put my hands up, and then I looked, and it was the bus right next to me.
As the bus turned left, LeGrid was run over and dragged down the block.
It's terrifying, honestly. I feel like it's mortifying for anybody to see something like that.
And very clearly, he did not slow down, didn't stop, didn't try to avoid the impact at all, just barrels over Brad and keeps going.
I had fractures in pretty much every bone, even including my vertebrae in my spine, but my spinal cord was undamaged. But I shattered both my femurs, my pelvis was split in half, and it's just changed my life drastically.
LeGrid is now suing Metro Transit and its driver for, quote, negligently driving the bus and then running over him, causing serious injuries.
Bus drivers or commercial operators are held to a higher standard of care than the general public because they're operating huge, heavy machinery buses that can cause serious injury to people.
But another recent case shows that Metro Transit is protected by a state law capping damages and wrongful death or injury claims that involve public entities.
If you get hit by a bus, you're going to have bad injuries. If you get hit by a snowplow, you're going to have significant injuries. And these people that get hurt the most get the least. And it doesn't make any sense at the end of the day.
Cole Dixon recently took Metro Transit to trial.
They refuse to even accept the slightest ounce of responsibility for this.
His client was attempting to board a bus on a snowy sidewalk when the driver shut the door. You can see here in the video, he slipped and fell while trying to get the driver's attention. The bus then pulled away. The back wheels ran right over him. The man had to have his left leg amputated.
Their whole position was, we didn't do anything wrong, our driver didn't do anything wrong, and that's why we ended up in a courtroom.
Metro Transit tried to pin blame on the victim's extreme drunkenness, but Dixon ultimately won a jury verdict of more than $4 million that included medical expenses and damages. But the agency will pay only a fraction of that amount. They filed this brief stating that the verdict must be amended to just $500,000 as required under this state liability law.
It doesn't matter what the jury says, does it?
Right now, the state of the law is the caps are there, and that's all you'd get.
Retired Judge Kevin Burke explained that the government used to be completely immune from lawsuits. And when that changed in the 1960s, the caps were implemented to fend off a flood of litigation and keep insurance costs in check.
Those who have the most serious injuries don't get fully compensated. So if you had somebody who had $50,000 worth of damages, they get 100%. If they had $5 million and the caps are $1 million, they get 20%.
So they did it to protect the government. You mean to tell me? I love and hate our system sometimes, y'all. I love and hate it. It goes if and then. It's a thin line between love and hate, but let's keep going.
Is that fair?
That's the argument. It's not fair. And it's not.
I feel like the entire system is pinned against an individual like me. I feel like this is something that is well beyond what the cap is saying.
And with no compensation offer or acceptance of responsibility in LeGrid's crash, he is now preparing for a trial of his own in January. The Met Council had little to say about either case, only telling the Fox 9 investigators that the agency is reviewing the jury's recent findings and that they do not provide any public comments on ongoing legal proceedings.
Same thing they always say. Same thing they always say. It's a crazy world, y'all. Be careful. You can get hit by a bus in some of these places. Get mangled. Both legs gone. The jury can award you with millions. Then they slide that paper over and say, nah, here, reduce that to 500. And we got you. Absolutely sick. Should the jury have known about that? But even if they did, it wouldn't have mattered. It's in place to protect the government from all the lawsuits. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. It's a crazy world we live in, ain't it? It's a crazy world we live in. But we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. That's crazy. Just don't get hit by a bus, especially in some of these places with a cap. Or is that cap everywhere? I think they said in some places. But a cap might be, I don't know. Just don't get hit by a bus. It sounds like just don't get hit by a bus. Don't get hit by anything that's owned by the government. Because you ain't going to see no payday. They going to slide that paper over and say, yeah, reduce that. Reduce it. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. All right, everybody, remember this is AC Reviews the Word. Remember to like and subscribe.